2025 is that year that you want to flourish, you want to achieve a lot, and you have set goals, you have set systems in place to make that happen. You have great intentions for the year, and I know that you want it to happen for you. However, we need to deal with some habits, certain habits that are affecting your peace, certain habits that are affecting your joy, habits that are secretly taking away from your happiness. That's what we're going to tackle in today's video. I'm going to make you aware or remind you of little habits that are destroying your happiness, and I hope that we can tackle them early on so that we're able to achieve our goals for year 2025. And if you're interested in this video, definitely keep watching. If you're yet to subscribe, don't forget to subscribe, like the video, and share with your friends and loved ones. We don't want to be stingy in year 2025. Okay? Right, let's get into it. Hello beauties, welcome back to the channel. If you're new to the channel, my name is Yemi and I'm all about equipping and empowering you to thrive. The first habit that we are going to tackle is not getting enough sleep, not getting enough rest. Sleep is a major it's a major factor to how happy or excited you are about your days. And that's because our bodies need time to recuperate. Your body needs time to get back all that you have lost in the activity of the day. So when you rest, you allow all your organs and everything that boosts your happiness, you allow them to rest and come back stronger. If you're constantly in that work mood, you don't know how to take work out of your mind, whether you're doing a 9 to 5 or you're hustling in your own business, you're building your own business, and you cannot shut down. That is something that will affect your happiness because you're not going to get enough sleep and it's going to affect your mood. It's okay when, something happens once or twice, but when you're consistently not getting enough sleep, it would affect your mood. Trust me, it would affect your happiness. And I know this because I recently had a baby. Well, my baby is going to be 1 soon, but those few days, months when he was not sleeping through the night, it was really affecting my sleep and it was really affecting my mood. You need to ask my husband about that. He would give you all the dates, right? But he's the one that was on the receiving end of that mood swings and all. So if you don't get enough sleep, it's definitely going to affect how you approach life, how your energy levels are going to be down, and it will affect your decisions, it will affect the people around you, and it's not a great place to be. So you want to make sure that you shut down at the end of every day. You build habits, you set up your routine in a way that you actually shut down. And this is something I'm prioritizing this year. Before I go to bed, at least 1 hour, I don't want to press my phone. And towards the end of the day, even at work, I wear those glasses that block light from your system, your computer, from your phone, because I know that winding down at the end of the day, I want it to be really easy for me to fall asleep. And I'm a very light sleeper, little sound, little noise, I wake up. So that's something that I'm also working on myself, and it's something that you need to do. I know some people use supplements to actually get enough sleep for the day, but whatever it is that you need to do to shut down at the end of the day and get enough rest for your body, do it in a safe way, okay? Do it in a safe way and just make sure that you get the adequate rest that your body needs. The second on my list is overconsumption. This is something that is secretly affecting our happiness. And I'm not just talking about you, okay? It's something I'm also working on. In fact, all of the things that I'm talking about in today's video, all of the points are things that I've, pulled together, looked at myself, look at other people around me, that why are we so moody? Why are we so unhappy? Things that I've gathered. Okay, so I'm not just bashing you or anything like that, but overconsumption of ideas, of content, of a lot of junk in the environment, overconsumption of those things can impact your happiness. It can, these are things that are secretly destroying our happiness on a day-to-day basis. You go to work, you have to do your job, you learn everything about your work, right? You talk to a lot of people, you're consuming things that your colleague is saying to you. You're probably pressing your phone in the middle of work. During your break, you check your phones, you listen to what the school is saying to you about your children, you listen to the news, you listen to social media, and then you go back to work, and then after work, your commute back home, you pick up your phone, go on social media again, you consume a lot of content. You get home, you have to speak to your neighbor, you speak to people in the bus, you consume a lot of things. They are downloading things to you from their own day as well. It's somewhere locked in. You get home, your kids are telling you about things from school that happened. You're consuming that as well. You know, to go to bed, you don't wind down immediately. You consume a lot of social media content as well. Your husband or your partner speaks to you about their day, maybe on the phone or physically. You're just consuming and consuming and consuming. And gradually, you don't know that, gradually these things, or immediately it stores up in your brain, but gradually they begin to impact your sense of judgment. It begins to cloud your judgment. It begins to affect, the way you go about things. This is something that I'm very intentional about. I know the people that I listen to in terms of teachings. I know the people that I follow. But sometimes you get carried away. You're online and then you start scrolling down and you see something funny. And when I see something funny from someone, I want to go to their page to see if they have something similar to that I can laugh and chat away with. But then I'm consuming things as well in that process. And because you have goals as well for the year, you have things that you have set out to do, you're consuming a lot in that area as well. So there's just a lot of consumption out there that stores in your brain, and gradually they begin to pop up. And you realize that you want to drink water, and you remember a video that you saw that someone accidentally put in something into somebody else's water, and you're paranoid. And then you want to go out, and you remember that, someone yesterday you saw in the news that a young boy was stabbed in the bus, and then you're paranoid. Gradually, those things begin to affect your sense of judgment. It begins to affect your peace. It begins to, affect your joy. So I think it's very important that you curate the things that you are listening to per day, or you're very intentional about discarding things from your memory. You're very intentional about flushing things out, because some things just come to you just because you're out there. You're just in this world. Some things just come to you. And so you have to be very intentional about flushing things out. Even if they come into your mind outside of your control, well, you can, make sure that you flush them out of your mind, flush them out of your memory. How? By, affirmations, reaffirming your sense of identity, making sure that the things that you intentionally consume are a lot more than the things that you unintentionally consume. So you have a sense of control around that area, right? Now, this third one that I'm going to talk about is something that we do secretly, codedly, unintentionally, but it plays a major role in your happiness. It plays a major role in how you go about your day-to-day activities, your mood, basically. And that is having high expectations of people around you. I know it sounds harmless. Expectations are good. We need to have hope in life. We need to expect the best from people. We need to demand the best from people around us. However, you cannot have high expectations of everyone around you. You have high expectations from your partner, from your spouse. You have high expectations from your parents. You have high expectations from your best friend. You have high expectations from your acquaintances. You have high expectations from your colleagues at work. You have high expectations from your subordinates. You have high expectations from having high expectations from a lot of people around you can lead to disappointment sometimes. And a lot of times when you have too much of expectations from people, you are bound to be disappointed here or there, because it takes a lot of work to fulfill people's obligations and expectations of us. To be honest, it takes a lot of work. And I know that I've let people down, as much as I'm also being upset that people have let me down, right? So having that high expectations of people is something that can affect your peace, because sooner or later you are going to be disappointed in people for things that they did not do. Sometimes because they don't even have the capacity to do it. Sometimes because they don't have the time, the space they are in at the time of their life. Maybe they don't have the capacity to fulfill your own needs, your own obligations. Maybe they are not going to be able to support you in the way that you want to be supported. So it's not necessarily because these people are bad people, but just because we are human beings. So having high expectations from so many people around you is a lot to deal with. So what I would advise, or what I would suggest, is have expectations of people, but alongside be graceful towards others around you. Have expectations from people, and just bear in mind that they are humans as well. Let everything be in moderation. Let wisdom guide you in that capacity. Another thing is to also curate the people that you confide in, your backbone, your pillars, and such people you can have high expectations from them, right? I'm not saying don't have high expectations from anybody, right? But if you have your own inner circle, people you trust over the years, you can have expectations from them. For example, even though I'm busy, even though I'm tired, I know that my children will demand certain things from me, and so I need to make myself available. I know that my husband will demand certain things from me. I know I need to make myself available. I know that my parents will demand certain things from me. I need to make myself available to an extent, right? I know my friend will have certain expectation. My best friend, I need to make myself available. But look at, even from the sound of it, making yourself available for a lot of people is a lot of work. How much more when you have expectations from all these people? It's a lot of work. It's a lot of things to demand from everybody. So if you manage your expectations with wisdom, I think it's something that will not leave you disappointed at all times, that will end up, affecting your happiness. Another thing that affects your happiness or is stealing your happiness is overthinking. And this is something that I'm also guilty of, and I'm, trying to work my way around it. Like I said, overthinking, especially when you're supposed to do the things that you love. For example, I want to buy certain things. I want to look good. That's one of my goals for the year. I want to look good. I want to have a sense of style. Like, I want to feel good in my body, in my clothing, and, my appearance, basically. But every time, and this is something that's been holding me back in the past couple of years, every time I try to get something nice for myself, I think about the price. And then I think about how the price of this thing, I'm able to buy certain things for my kids. I'm able to buy certain things for the home, because I also love having a good space, right? And so I'm thinking about, I want my kids to also look good. So I'm thinking about buying something for my kids. I'm thinking about this. I'm thinking about that. I'm thinking about birthdays. I'm thinking about parties. I'm thinking about all of that. And the resources that I have as of now, I'm hoping and I'm getting there where it's unlimited, right? But as of right now, it's still a bit kind of limited. And because I want to maximize it, I put myself last. I'm overthinking that thing that I know that will bring me joy. I've spent a good amount of money on something that I have never regretted. I love, every time I look at that thing, I'm happy that I have it. I'm genuinely happy that it's in my space, right? And so overthinking things, I'm just using this mild example. So overthinking things, especially the things that you love and you don't get to do because you're overthinking, overthinking. Maybe it's a business that you know that when you start it, it will give you joy. And you're overthinking it, you're overanalyzing it. Somebody hurt you, you're overthinking it, you're overanalyzing it. That's something I do, and I'm still working on it as well. So overthinking, in whatever sense of it that is personal to you, think about it. In what areas do you overthink a lot? Some people don't overthink when it comes to hurts, when people hurt them. Some people do not overthink it, but they overthink in terms of like going for the things that they love. So whatever aspect or whatever area that you know that you have this tendency to overthink and overanalyze, look at it deeply and try to find ways that you would just go for it. Try to surround yourself with people that would encourage you to just go for it, or just make sure that you do not let overthinking paralyze you. You do not let overthinking stop you from doing the things that you love and enjoy. Another thing that I would say is stealing your joy is over prioritizing other people over your own life. Over prioritizing other people, essentially people pleasing. You focus so much on other people. You focus so much on what people will think or what people will say or what people will do, or just focusing on other people, intending to please them first over yourself, is something that is secretly stealing your joy and secretly stealing your happiness, right? Because when you focus so much on other people, it's outside of your control. You cannot please people. You cannot please everyone. You do your best for people. You sacrifice in some cases for people, but it doesn't necessarily mean that you go and forget yourself. You lose yourself in relationships. You lose yourself in motherhood. You lose yourself to your career. No. Prioritize your own happiness. That's what I'm saying. That if you have this habit of prioritizing other people first, thinking about, and this is something again that I have a little bit of it as well. Like sometimes I'm ill, but I want to show up at my job because I feel like I'm responsible for my duties, and if I don't show up, it would affect other people. It's a good thing to have, but at some point, you need to focus on your health, if you understand what I'm saying. So think about it. In what areas that do you over prioritize other people, that it affects your joy and affects your peace, and decide to put yourself first. Decide to say no to those things, especially when they're not a matter of life and death, right? And this is something that I used to have when it comes to even giving as well, managing my finances, managing my money. I would over prioritize other people, that you cannot come to me with a need. Whatever money that I have, even if it is, I would give. And it did not help me in the long run with managing my finances. So in whatever area that you're over prioritizing other people first before yourself, that is detrimental to your health, to your happiness, you know deep down that you're doing it, but there's a word for it. Oh, it just skipped my mind now. You resent people after doing it. Exactly. You know that doing these things for them causes resentment to you, then you need to watch it. It's not good for your own health and happiness. Another thing is focusing on being right all the time. You want to be right at all times. You do not want to give room or allowance for mistakes. You cannot be perfect in everything. Some areas have to give. That's the way God created us, so that we can work together in this life. That's why God created the woman, to help, to partner with the man, because there's some areas that he's probably lacking. Not that God created you imperfect, but there's some things that he might not see, and the other person can see farther, or see wider, or see with a better perspective. So you work hand in hand, right? But wanting to be right at all times in your relationships, at work, that you cannot allow mistakes, or you do bad when you make mistakes, or you feel terrible, you are in that place of disappointed in yourself for so long because you were not right. Sometimes you are right the first time, sometimes you're right the second time. So it's okay to make mistakes, it's okay to be wrong. That's how you learn, that's how you increase, that's how you grow. Release yourself of that burden. It's a huge burden to carry, it's a huge responsibility to give yourself. Give yourself some grace so that you can be happy. So don't think that you need to be right at all times. No, you don't have to be, okay? And that goes in line with what I'm going to share, the last point I'm going to share in today's video, and that is focusing so much on your problems. You know that whatever you focus on expands. And when you focus so much on your problems, you do not see the opportunities and possibilities that is ahead of you. You do not even breathe. And so it chokes you. The problem chokes you because what you focus on again expands. It becomes gigantic. You don't even see a way out. You begin to feel hopeless. You begin to feel tired. You don't have that energy. Your resilience is worn out because you're focusing so much on your problems. So whatever challenge that you've carried on from the last year, or from your last season of life, or from the last phase, or whatever it is that is challenging for you at the moment, just try and shift your mindset away from that problem. Look for help. Seek help. Speak to people that can help you. But try as much as possible to not make that problem your God. Pray about it. Seek counsel. But don't focus so much on that problem that you do not see a way out. Rather, focus on solution. Be solution-minded. Be growth-minded. And that's something that, is in that book, the growth mindset. Right? The people, when they even did the survey, the children who focus so much on the problem and struggling with it, trying to get it right, and those ones were easily won out, compared to those ones that have this mindset that even if I don't get it now, I will get it later, or whatever the experiment was. I can't remember accurately, but those ones that have this growth mindset, that they do not attach the problem to their sense of self, they do not attach the problem to their capabilities. They knew that it was a problem, it was a challenge temporarily, I will get through it. So they didn't allow that to affect their sense of self and happiness. So I don't know if I'm saying this right, but I'm trying not to make the video super long. But focusing so much on your problems is something that will steal your happiness, okay? Rather, be solution minded. Find a way out of it. And it's okay, sometimes it's okay to just allow yourself to just be in that moment, but very quickly get up and be solution minded. I did not intentionally talk about comparison because that is one that we all know is a thief of joy. Just to put it out there that whatever you do not compare yourself to another person because you are uniquely you. And that's it from me to you in today's video. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Let me know whatever video you want me to touch on or whatever point you want me to expand on in the next video. As always, you are amazing. Thank you for your time, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye for now.